Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2026 related video here on my channel, and another Super Saturday related video. This is the second of this particular Eurovision season, and I'll just be going through all of the shows that will be taking place, not just on this upcoming Saturday, which is February the 28th, but all of the other events that will be taking place over the next few days across the continent with regards to the 2026 edition of the Eurovision Song Contest, which, as we all know, will take place this May in Vienna, Austria. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below. And as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So I did film a video similar to this one 2 weeks ago, and then last week there wasn't really the need to film one because not a great deal was happening. But certainly this upcoming Saturday is a really busy one in the world of this year's ESC. We are getting a few more confirmed tracks for this year's upcoming Austria staged event. So I'm just going to go through them one by one, give you my thoughts on some of the songs, and also tell you my personal favourites of each show. And feel free to let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comments section below. As I speak to you, it is the evening of Thursday, February the 26th, and two shows are actually happening right now. The second semi-final of Serbia's Pesma za Euroviziju 2026, that's about a third of the way through, and also the third night of Italy's Sanremo Music Festival, which is not far off halfway through there. I'll be talking more about those shows in a moment's time, but let's just go through this in order. I'm looking at the Eurovision calendar on EurovisionWorld.com. Tomorrow, Friday, the 27th of February, we have night 4 of the Sanremo Music Festival, but we also have an actual national final taking place. After weeks of shows, pre-recorded shows, it's worth saying, it is all happening live in Vilnius for the final of Eurovisia.lt 2026. Now, I can load this up here. We started off with 40 songs, and we now have 11 left, I think it is, one of which came through a brief online wildcard vote after the last semi-final. Let me just load this up here so I'm not forgetting anything too important. Yes, over the past couple of weeks, we have had semi-finals, 8 songs in each show, 2 progressing through to the grand final, and a further act, the artist finishing third, going through to that brief online wildcard round vote, which was won quite comfortably in the end by Nora Blue with the song Hold My Own. The 11 songs in contention are by Rugile, Walls of Water, Lion Seca, apologies for any mispronunciations, Nora Blue, Noi, Atikin, Shower, Vilnius Voices, Lolita Zero, Paula and Black Biceps, and that's the running order as well for the final. There will be no super final this time in Lithuania, so you really have to deliver there and then. It is a 50% jury vote and a 50% public vote. The public voting will be conducted exclusively online via an online voting platform. My top 3 is Shower, Rugile and Nora Blue. However, it could be a very close result between some of the other artists here. I am not expecting Ikona Shemete to win, which is a real shame. I'm certainly not expecting Nora Blue to come out on top. It looks to be between Atikin with Deganti Shemele, Shower with Contact, and also Solo Quiero Mas by Lion. 3 very interesting songs. Lolita Zero could potentially do it. However, I'm not sure that would actually do incredibly well at Eurovision. And to be honest with you, I don't think any of these songs would do really, really well at Eurovision. But certainly enough to get Lithuania back into a Eurovision final. And I think it would be their 6th consecutive Eurovision final, something like that, which is really impressive. Anyway, Solo Quiero Mas, a very interesting song. I actually saw somebody on social media compare it to Spain's entry last year. a little bit bizarre, maybe. But Lion is on stage with this silver makeup all over his face and this rather mysterious figure off to one side. Then you've got Atikin, and this song has a slightly ethereal vibe to it. I certainly wasn't that impressed with the performance several weeks ago, though. And then the other one that I mentioned, Shower. Yeah, this one feels quite polished already. The live performance was, the pre-recorded performance was fairly strong. And I think a lot of people are expecting them to absolutely finish in the top 3 on the Friday evening, tomorrow night, if not win. If I had to make a prediction, I really don't know. I really have no idea what the jury are going to go for. I've no idea how the public are going to vote. I think Shower probably have it in the bag, but I really can see Lion coming out on top as well. I would say this is perhaps the most disappointing Lithuanian national final lineup for a number of years. It's not bad, but I think we've had arguably stronger lineups in the recent past. Anyway, that is what is happening in Lithuania. It all gets going tomorrow night, February the 27th. Now, after Lithuania, we have to move on to what is happening on the 28th. Oh boy, busy times. So we have Heat 5 of Sweden's Melfest. Snippets of the songs are out. I have a feeling the full songs are out because I've seen people sharing them on social media over the past couple of hours. Nevertheless, they will be definitely available online shortly. And we also have the second chance round final qualification thing happening at the end of Heat 5. Now, I've already made a video regarding this upcoming heat of Melfest, and all being well, there will be a video next week regarding the final. But in Heat 5, we have one of the big favourites in Alexa with Tongue Tied. We have Juliet with Långt från alla andra, Blade with Who You Are, Lilla Alfagi with Delulu, Wilhelm Buchhaus with Hearts Don't Lie, and former Swedish representative Sanna Nilsson with Waste Your Love. Now, having heard the snippets a few times now, I think Alexa and Sanna will be going through. I can actually see Sanna winning this semi-final, and then I think Blade or Wilhelm will go through to the second chance round runoff vote. And then in that final qualification vote, which is a little bit complicated, I won't be explaining it again, I fully expect Meira to trounce the opposition. If she doesn't, there will be uproar, and I wouldn't be surprised if Robin Bengtsson goes through as well, even though his song, in my opinion, is fairly bang average. I would love to see Eva Jumatate go through, but I just don't think it's going to happen for her this time around. That is what is happening in Sweden, and to be fair, most of the attention will be elsewhere. We do have the second semi-final of Portugal's Festival de Canção, which is a shite show because most of the artists will not go to Eurovision if they win this event. Some of the artists in the second semi-final of FDC are Gonçalo Gomes, Francisco Fontes, João Ribeiro, Inês Souza, and the favourites, and it just so happens that this act would go to Eurovision if they won, Bandidos Tocante with the song Rosa, which is quite nice, but it's definitely not my favourite. My favourite is Marquis, who qualified last week with the song Chuva. My second favourite, Agridoce, with Onde Quiero Estar, is out, unfortunately. And my third favourite, I honestly cannot remember because I don't have it in front of me. I think it might be, yes, it's Inês Souza, who will close the second semi-final this weekend. Anyway, that's what's happening there. There's jury and public voting, and then there is a second round of voting where pure public votes decide a final qualifier. Anyway, also, just like with Sweden, attention will be elsewhere. Let's focus on Pesmeza Eurovision 2026 then, which is Serbia's national selection. The first heat took place on Tuesday evening, and we had several qualifiers based on jury and public voting. Klaber by Igor surprisingly missed out. In the show that is happening as I speak to you, we have Harem Girls and Ivana with Bom Bom, we have Zona with Chairi, we have Sanja Aleksic with Come Proba, and we have Lavina with Cry Mene. Now, Zena with Yugoslavia. Apparently that's a fairly controversial song. I've not looked into the reasons why. But anyway, she's the hot favourite here. But I can see Serbia really messing this up, actually. Because I think Lavina with Kraj Mene, which is this fairly heavy and miserable sounding song, you could say, certainly has a lot of supporters and could win if the juries are on board, because I think the public will be. This could be one to keep an eye out for, no doubt about it. However, if we are thinking ahead to Eurovision and which song is best, Zena with Yugoslavia is, I think, a pretty clear choice. But we'll wait and see what happens in the final. I think there are a few other possible challengers. Harem Girls and Ivana, Zona. Yes, that song is pretty good. Also, maybe Lores with Unseen could do quite well in the final. But anyway, long story short, my top three, Zena, Eva Grujin and Zona. That is what is happening in Serbia. It could turn out to be a real mess, in my opinion. Now, moving on to MGP in Norway, also could be a hot mess. The songs were revealed a couple of weeks ago. We did have the MGP Kuppen, where we had songs that didn't make the final automatically, if you see what I mean. They were voted for over the course of several days online. They were put into duels. The winner in the end was Skrillex. The final involves Skrillex, Hedda May with Snap Back, which is an incredibly underrated song, Storm, Mileo or Milio, Silke, Alexander Rybak is back, the former winner, Emma, Leonardo Amor and Jonas Love. Now, Alexander Rybak is the favourite. He shouldn't be. His song is fine, quite joyful in terms of its sound, but my word, I think Norway, we've had him twice. And it would just be nice to have somebody different, I know we've had several different people over the past few years, but do we need Rybak back for a third time? I'm not sure we do. If he wins, so be it, but I can't see him doing incredibly well in Vienna. Emma is another major challenger here, the sister of former Swedish representatives Marcus and Martinus. Northern Lights is fine, it's not incredible. In a much stronger lineup, it wouldn't come close to winning, but it is very nice. My top three is Emma, Hedda, and then Frankenstein by Mileo. I know he definitely has a lot of fans, but he might fall short, just like he did a few years ago. Anyway, it's taking place in Lillehammer for the first time, I believe, this weekend. After Norway, we have Germany, Das Deutsche Finale. Nobody's really giving this one the time of day. The songs have been out for a while. In the first round, a jury made up of 20 international music-related individuals will decide the top three. And then in the second round, it's pure public voting. It's not a great format, but it is what it is. The lineup is Bella, Dream Boys the band, Laura Naar, Malu Lovis, Molly Sue, Mile, Ragatsky, Sarah Engels and Wavy Boy, who is actually from Liechtenstein and has a half-decent song. I haven't yet decided my top three. I really need to get on with this. But I think Molly Sue is definitely going to make the top three in the first round of voting. And that's a really nice effort. It could do very well at Eurovision in the jury half of the results. I think Sarah Engels is the favourite. Fire is so basic and uninspired, but it's not too bad. And then Wavy Boy could absolutely do it as well with Black Glitter. I know a lot of people don't mind Herz by Bella, and also Wonderland by Laura Naar, or Nair, is not too bad. It's really not that bad a lineup at all. But there's nothing here that's really suggesting Germany are going to get a really fantastic result in Vienna this year. Anyway, it's taking place in Berlin and it gets going on Saturday night. After Germany, we have to cross over to Italy. Now, this is not a national final. The winner may or may not end up being Italy's representative. But this, of course, is Sanremo 2026. All the songs were performed on night one. Half of the songs were performed last night. The other half are being performed this evening. There are various votes coming in from various different juries, a press jury, a radio jury, and the public vote. I think that's it. Yes, the orchestra have voted in the past. Obviously, it goes on for a very long time. There is a cover evening as well. That's taking place tomorrow. And we have been getting the top 5 in a random order on the 2 previous nights of this show so far, and that will continue until the final when we get the proper classification. Dito nella piaga with Che Fastidio is by a mile the most interesting song here. So naturally, last night, the Italian public said no thanks, and the radio jury said no thanks as well, despite this song, by a mile, being arguably the biggest radio hit in this year's festival. Absolutely ludicrous voting. It was an all-male top 5. I saw the results just before I went to bed, and I thought to myself, what the hell is going on here? What is this absolute shite show? And I'm expecting more of the same tonight. I know that Sal Da Vinci, his song is massively popular already. Serena Brancali is the favourite to win. Arisa will be up there challenging for victory as well. And then, of course, we have Fedez and Marco Massini. And there's been a bit of a backlash towards this one. Fedez is such a big star. He breathes. He has a platinum single. Marco Massini, he's quite famous as well. Very distinct voice, quite raspy. It's a very interesting double act, this. But that song, oh man, it's okay, but also flat as a pancake. And I think there are far more interesting songs here. Far, far, far more interesting songs. Now, I know it's not a national final. People are voting for who they want to win the festival, not really thinking ahead to Eurovision. I get that. But even if you're not voting, thinking ahead to Eurovision, I just don't understand sometimes what people are watching and listening to. I really don't. I know Che Fastidio is absolutely my favourite. I can tell you that Bambole di Pezza with Resta Con Me is my second favourite, and Arisa is my third favourite. But my word, I don't know. I could smell the testosterone wafting over from Italy last night. I don't know what's going on at all. Anyway, Sanremo, the final, is this Saturday, and we will find out within 48 hours of the final who is going to represent Italy at Eurovision this year. I mean, Che Fastidio would go down a storm in Vienna, but I don't think it's going to be that song that we hear on that stage in May. Then we have Uuden musiikin kilpailu in Finland. Well, I have full faith in the Finns to deliver the goods. I made a video all about this recently. You can feel free to check that out if you so wish. The quality is there. The songs were revealed one by one last month. Several music professionals and audience juries decided the songs in question. Out of a record number of submissions, we have Komiat, Etta, Kiki, Antipalanen, Chachi, Sinikamonte, and Linda Lampenius and Petta Parkonen. Petta, who is this Finnish heartthrob who burst onto the scene many years ago, winning Finnish Idol. No, he didn't. He finished third, my word. And then Linda Lampenius, who's a world-renowned violinist with long blonde hair, looking like a supermodel, coming out, playing the fiddle. And, Liakin Heitin, which means flamethrower, has all the makings of potentially a Eurovision winner as far as I'm concerned. If this doesn't go to Eurovision, Finland will not remain first in the odds and won't win this year's competition in Vienna. I've not really seen anybody say that they hate this. I've seen some people say it's not really my thing. That's fine. Everybody has different opinions. But I've not really seen anybody say, wow, I'm really not liking this one at all. It has a lot of supporters. It is the overwhelming favourite to win. It's already been number 1 in the Finnish charts. It's the one to beat. And for the record, very, very, very brief clips of how the performances will look on Saturday have been posted on the UMK Instagram page. I think it was a few hours ago. So check it out if you haven't already. I fully expect every performance to be pretty strong, but Liakin Heitin is by a mile the one to beat. And barring some absolute catastrophe, it's going to be Linda and Petta heading to Vienna. However, they could, of course, turn it down. We'll wait and see. That leaves Bulgaria, and there's very little to say here. flying under the radar, to say the absolute least, because Bulgaria might have something really special up their sleeves. So we did have 2 shows. In the first show, all of the artists in question performed, and 8 went through. In the second show, whoever came out on top was confirmed as Bulgaria's representative. And it is Dara, and she's 27 years of age from Varna. She was on Bulgaria's version of The X Factor. She's released 2 albums and a whole bunch of singles over the years, and I would say that she's pretty well known in her homeland. Now, this show, this Saturday, Dara will perform 3 songs. Now, I don't know how long these 3 songs have been in existence for. Were they only written after she won the second show in Bulgaria? Because that way the songwriters in question could work with the particular winning artist, and obviously had it been somebody else, then maybe they would have approached the songwriting in a different way to sort of match the genre of the artist in question, if you see what I mean. I have no idea. I have a feeling these songs have been written very quickly, produced very quickly, recorded very quickly. I've no idea how the show is going to pan out, whether she will be performing them live. It seems that way, but whether we get the studio versions at the same time is anybody's guess. There will be a public vote and a 10-member jury panel deciding Bulgaria's entry for 2026. It's a welcome back to the competition for this country, and I'm very interested to see and hear the winning track, and all being well, there will be a reaction video to that tune on my channel, possibly on Saturday night, certainly all being well on Sunday at the latest. Anyway, I think that's about it. It's a bumper weekend. It could go very, very well. It could go very, very poorly. I should say, in Finland, my top 3 is Linda and Petter. And then my second favourite is Etta, and then my third favourite is Kiki. But all of the songs are pretty decent. That's it. I should say we are having Australia's song on March the 1st. So that is before the week is over. Rumours are it's Delta Goodrum. Then we are having Romania, San Marino, Israel, Poland. Nobody's really paying any attention to that selection. Azerbaijan, Czechia, Georgia at some point, and of course the UK. It's all damn systems go. And we could end up with Takatuka and Alexander Rybak this weekend, or we could end up with Liakin Heitin, Que Fastidio, Northern Lights. We'll just have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts on all of the shows taking place over the next couple of days in the world of this year's Eurovision, and I will see you again soon. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.